Good morning, everyone. Coming at you live from a hole in the wall in Eastern North Carolina. This is the Graded Morning Experience. I am your host, Chief Justice OptiPops. It is so good to see everybody here. Want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Lidl. Hello, Anchor Green Boss, Gwynn's, Blanket Spectre, Schnitzel's. Good to see you. And yeah, we got all the good people here today so far. Hopefully, the audience will grow. We're gonna have a good day today. We're gonna have some hilarious stuff going on today. It's absolutely hilarious. Right now, it's a solo show because Xavier is a lazy bum. I've texted him. I have sent him DMs on Discord. Got no response. If you got him on Discord, bully him. Bully him relentlessly because he deserves it. And call him a bum. Yes, Xavier is so cab. He is very cab. Very cab indeed. Very, very, very cab. Okay. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having a great morning, great start to the day. Because very well. Congratulations. I guess you've been in Coof quarantine for a little while. Hopefully you get over that very soon. I really hope so because what the quarantines. I mean, obviously the Coof can be bad, but the quarantine can suck really bad too. So. Hopefully you get out of that, and we're going to have a good day. We're going to talk about the penultimate meltdown of 2022. I do not think it will be topped, and it is only April, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. So, yeah, yesterday was interesting. I did not expect it to happen this soon. I didn't expect it to happen on a Monday, but that made it even better. So, little sippy to get things going in the right direction. So we might as well dive right on in. Elon Musk bought Twitter, guys. And it's very interesting that it's, and like I said, it happened so quick. I thought it would be a battle for months, and Elon would eventually buy it. It would be like, be a lot of back and forth and stuff like that. But apparently, when it comes to big finances and big money, you can force your way into things if you do it. I should have bought Twitter if I had the money, maybe. I don't think they would have liked me to run. If they hated Elon Musk, they sure wouldn't have liked me. And just like 1,000 voices cried out in terror and suddenly left. Well, we're going to talk about that. So let's talk about first. Let's look over. I'm going to do some screen sharing here because there's a couple of reasons why I think a lot of people didn't want this to happen. First off, I'm going to start with this CNN article that just came about. There's no need to talk about like the deal that's been done to death. So let's talk about what's been going on around it. Yeah, all the people doomer posting outright silly. It is. It's like it's the end of the world, and we know it. Yes, I got a CNN article up here. Excuse me. I know. Look, I'm trying to get CNN out. They just ate shit for $300 million. So, got to give them a little bit of help. Launch a $300 million venture, only get 10,000 people watching it, and yeah. That so you notice right off the bat the joke there. Yeah, Lidl, and guys, I got a word for their quote healthy conversations. There it is. There it is. That's their healthy conversations. Everybody must agree with me, or you're a bigot, racist, homophobe, whatever else word we can come up with. Good to see you, Coach. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here, buddy. Yep, dogpiling and censorship. Yep, that's pretty much it. They wanted to get rid of voices that did not agree totally with their worldview. And like I said, I'll go over a few things. I think it's going to be interesting. Uh, there will be, by the way, to everyone's delight, there will be no listicle today because I think I want to focus more on this than anything. Exactly. Go off yourself because you're the right of Stalin. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, that's true too. They eventually see that's the one thing that's kind of good about this, but also about it is because let me switch things up a little bit here. There we go. That looks cooler. Um, One of the things that's going to be kind of the bad thing about this is that they're not going to. It's going to be a little bit longer before they start eating their own because they were already starting to do that because you can only be, for certain people, you didn't go too far enough. So yeah, yeah, I know. Well, it's his day off. I'll try to be a little kinder to him about his but that doesn't mean don't bully him. Just keep doing it. So anyway, let's go over this real quick. Twitter has been focused on healthy conversations. Elon Musk could change that. Like I said it already. They don't care about it. Quote healthy conversations. They care about what they want you to think. So 4 years ago, Twitter co-founder and then CEO Jack Dorsey laid out four key focus areas that would propel the company's growth. Among them, promoting quote healthy conversations on the platform. After years of criticism for Twitter's apparent failures to prevent its platform from turning toxic, Dorsey acknowledged the scourge of, quote, abuse, harassment, troll armies, as well as bots, misinformation campaigns, and, quote, increasingly divisive echo chambers on the social network. And he called on researchers to help improve the situation. There was only one problem with that. The researchers he got were not researchers. They were more of the people from the echo chamber that wanted things their own way. That's what they wanted. It's not like they wanted something where everybody could be, let's have a healthy conversation where everybody can talk, but we're not mean to each other or anything. Look, sometimes speech, you're going to be a little mean. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. People talk about, oh, it's going to lead to a rise in hate speech. Hate speech, guys. It's going to be so hateful. Oh, no. But what they mean is they're not. I'll put it this way: pure, legitimate hate speech. If you cannot defeat that with better speech, you're not good at your argument. Get better at it, because hate speech is what it is. If it's truly hateful hate speech, it's hate. How you defeat hate with good ideas, with better ideas. If you can't do that, you're not good at your messaging. Exactly. We already had hate speech. It was their hate speech. What they described as hate speech. What is hate speech to you? Well, somebody called me a bad word on Twitter. Okay. What did you do about it? Did you block them? Oh no, I was just going to complain about it. Okay, but then it's not my fault you didn't remove it from your site. Well, I'm not going to. Also, I'm not going to hang that. But one of the people who ended up um, leaving Twitter yesterday was uh, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Um, I'll remember it in a second. But he was a gentleman that Sean King. Sean King left Twitter yesterday, and the reason that a lot of people have posited that he left Twitter yesterday is because he's upset that it's now ran by a true African American. I, I heard that joke and I laughed for quite a long time. That one. Uh, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. Trust me, I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, let's go over to prove situation. We think it's a growth factor over the long term, and it's the right thing to do and for the people on Twitter and also for the world. Dorsey said on the company's earnings call in the fourth quarter of 2018 to focus on the quote health of the platform. In years since, Twitter has made significant progress towards that goal, including banning many accounts promoting abuse and spam. Pardon me? Spam? You know who the worst propagators of spam is on Twitter? Those freaking ad accounts. They're the worst. You know how many ad accounts that I've had to ban? I mean, I had to block on freaking Twitter because they're annoying as hell. Ugh, I don't people adding labels for false or misleading information, i.e., information you wanted to call false and misleading. Because here's the thing about that: it's only as false and misleading as the person looking at it saying it's false and misleading. I mean, what spawned all this talk of buyouts? Really, they banned the Babylon Bee, a satire site, known satire site. Clearly says they're a satire site. Clearly, they banned a site for being satire. I really believe that's what spurned all this. If they just kind of left things alone, they might have been, might have been okay. But no, yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, so even before the Bird app, Larson was always on nuclear. Absolutely, he was always thermonuclear. But let's see, what was it banning the misgendering of transgender people and launching a team dedicated. See, there's your problem right there. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Twitter said it would embrace third-party tools to help prevent harassment. What does third-party tools mean? Somebody going to look at it and say, "Oh, that's harassment." But Snowden, following the work of Twitter has done in recent years, worry it could be unraveled by now that billionaire Elon Musk has succeeded in his bid to acquire Twitter in a deal worth $44 billion. That's a lot of damn money. Anyway, Musk, a controversial Twitter user with a history of erratic behavior on and off the platform, has called for free speech on the social network and policies that would favor leaving up most tweets and accounts. If in doubt, let speech exist, Musk said in an onstage interview at the TED conference earlier this month. If it's a gray area, I would say let the tweet exist. But obviously, in the case where there's perhaps a lot of controversy, you would not necessarily want to promote that tweet. That's the key. Like I said, how do you defeat speech that you don't like? You have a better speech. That's how you do it. That's all. Under his ownership, Twitter could unwind steps taken in recent years to to make the platform more palatable for its most vulnerable users, typically women, the LGBTQ community, and people of color, according to safety experts. Guys, I know it's really hard for you to understand. Words on a screen cannot hurt you. They might make you upset. You might not like to see them, but there's a way to take care of that. Turn it off. Close the screen. Go for a walk. It's really that simple. Yeah, when you're a self proclaimed expert, you're probably not an expert. That's very true. It's very true. Uh, Beyond potentially alienating employees who have worked on or support efforts to improve content moderation on the platform. See, that was your problem right there. When you started doing content moderation, is when things started going south. Undoing Twitter's progress in healthy conversations also risks losing users at a time when the company has been finding a reverse sluggish growth. Do you think? Hold on. Do you think? Do you think, guys? I'm just saying. Article writer. Did you think maybe the sluggish growth is coming from these draconian acts? These quote healthy conversations because nobody's wanting to join because you either already banned them or why would I want to join if I have a differing view. Let's say take out party, for example, take out Democrat, Republican, take out conservative and liberal, take that all out. What if I have just one opposing view about something else that is not necessarily in the view of the majority of the people who work at Twitter? And I'm going to say work at Twitter because majorities come in all shapes and sizes, right? Why would I do that when I would just risk getting banned? What's the point? What's the point? It's a silly argument. It's absolutely silly. It could also turn off advertisers where you're having their ads run next to harmful content. Good. Good. The ads are the worst part of freaking Twitter. I just said that earlier. It's absolutely horrible. While Musk has said his bid to Twitter is, quote, not a way to make money, it's still a business and advertising remains its central revenue driver. Well, guess what? I've always found where one steps down, another one will take its place. That's always how it's been. That's always how it will be. Though smaller than some rival platforms, Twitter also has an outsized influence in the online and offline world because its popular among influential figures in media, politics, and entertainment, and because it has often acted as a model for other platforms on how to address thorny, harmful content issues. Thus, changes to Twitter's policies could have broader ripple effects on politics and society. All of a sudden, they're worried about how Twitter might affect society. All of a sudden, now they're worried about it. Don't you find that funny? That's hilarious to me. Oh, now they're worried about the effects on society. Now they're, you know why? Because the effects on society might be a turnaround, might go the different direction. Because as I've always said, the best ideas will win. You can only stifle it so long. That's it. You know. The one thing I'll say, hey Elon, if you're listening to this show, I hope you are. Make Dogecoin the fiat currency for Twitter so it can go up so I can make some money. I really need to make some money right now, guys. So if you could help out, hey, if you want to super chat, you want to donate, donations links are at the bottom of the screen. If you want to super chat, that's great too. If you want to subscribe, that would be a big help. Like, do you want a monthly subscription to the channel? That would be amazing. We really appreciate any help you can get right now. Uh, and like I said, once we get enough of that going on, everything gets stabilized around here, we can start doing some fun things for members and all that good stuff. So yeah, heaven forbid that the misleading mobile game ads be seen next to controversial tweets. Yeah, like what's that one's like, hey, solve this puzzle that every preview gets wrong just to make you mad. Have you ever seen those? They get you really pissed off. You're like, oh, why are you so stupid? I'm hoping that some of the weirdos go back to Tumblr. Although Tumblr changed their rules, so they probably can't go back now. That's what's funny. That's what's funny about that. Anyway, Twitter has certain not been perfect in content moderation issues, but as Kristen Martin, professor of technology at Notre Dame's Mendoza College of Business, put it, Twitter has consistently strived to be a responsible social media company through not only their content moderation, but also their hires in the area of machine learning ethic. eh, eh. I'm gonna let that hang in the air for a minute. Machine learning ethics. I'm gonna just, you know what? Type that out in chat here, just so everybody gets the idea. Who's feeding the machine? Yeah. Hey, Micah, how you doing? By the way, Skynet ethics. Tell me more about these machines and how they and how they're learning ethics. That's what we're trying. That's what I'm trying to figure out, David. Good to see you, by the way. What is machine ethics? Well, that machine was telling you, Schnitzel, that whatever you were doing was not ethical. Yeah, I don't want a social media run by Ultron. Yeah, we saw how that turned out, didn't we? Um, anyway, I would be worried as how this would change Twitter's values. Twitter is a company. Twitter runs a website. Twitter as a brand should not have values and ethics. It's a company. It does what it has to do to survive, make money, et cetera, et cetera. Hey man, we're trying to learn machine ethics over here. Come on. If the machines are learning ethics, then hey, why do we need to worry about it? Everything's fine. The machine is learning ethics based on how people who work at Twitter say ethical things are. That's no big deal, right? No big deal. You just wait. I'm gonna show you something in a few minutes that's gonna be really hilarious. Let's see. Roll through this. I've been in there with a history of trolling. Oh yeah, he has fun. He has fun on Twitter. What has he made lately? I'm just kind of reading through this. Yeah. Yeah, he trolls around. Who cares? So does everybody around here. So does Lidl. a platform with more work to do. Yeah, it's got plenty of work to do. It's got to undo all the crap that's been going on. Yeah, and you know what? Anti Defamation League. I don't want to hear nothing from you. You're garbage. You're garbage. Who cares? You haven't actually worried about what actual people have done. Um, actual hate speech in a long time. It's just made up shit that you want to like put up there. So screw you. Who cares? But yeah, that's the end of that article. Now this right here is what I think they're scared of the most. And this is from like a week ago. Elon Musk wants Twitter's algorithm to be public. It's not that simple. Oh, look, who wrote this article? The Washington Post. Guys, guys, 10 people watching right now. Who owns the Washington Post? Give y'all a second to process that one. Got to remember there's a delay, so it'll take y'all a minute to get. Pretty much. Yep. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Nobody had a problem with Jeff Bezos owning Washington Post because Jeff Bezos. Well, I say nobody. Certain people had the mainstream had no problem with Jeff Bezos owning Washington Post because he aligns with their the quote values, their machine learning ethics. So yeah, that's just wanted to point that out. That why are they so worried about why what happens? You know what? Get out of here. I don't want to buy your stupid paper. Screw the Washington Post. Yeah, Elon Musk wants the Twitter algorithm to be public. It's not that simple. Conservatives long claimed discrimination by the social network, but there's no one algorithm that could prove it, researchers say. Oh, God. I wonder if this is, guys, how much you want to bet there's going to be those familiar with the situation or those familiar with the thinking? Guarantee you those words appear in this quick article, real quick. Elon Musk says his hostile takeover bid for Twitter is all about free speech. The Tesla chief executive has tweeted multiple polls to his roughly 80 million Twitter followers on the topic. And he said at a conference this week that he believes the social media company is a town square that can promote global peace as long as there is limited policing. A key component to his argument. If he succeeds in his $43 billion takeover, he only had to add one more billion. He wants to make public the computer code that determines what people see on Twitter to ensure the platform is fair. The algorithm determines the priority in which tweets get served up to users, either expanding or limiting how many millions of people see them. Specifically, he said he wants to make the algorithm that recommends whether a tweet gets promoted or demoted, quote, open source or available for the public to view and improve upon. That, he said, will help prevent behind the scenes manipulation. If someone's tweets are emphasized or de-emphasized, that action should remain apparent, he said in a live broadcast from a TED conference on Thursday. But Musk's proposal probably represents a gross oversimplification of how it would work to make the data public, according to researchers who study recommendation algorithms. I told you, this is those familiar with their thinking. Uh, as social media companies have grown, the software that drives their recommendation engines have grown so sprawling and complex that analyzing it will require access to a fire hose of data so immense that people wouldn't even have access to a computer powerful enough to analyze it. The algorithms at Twitter, Facebook, and other social media process billions of pieces of content and use a myriad of data points to determine a ranking, from the popularity of a post to the person who posted it. Okay, this is an attempt. This is an attempt at saying, guys, even if we released it, you wouldn't understand it. So we shouldn't have to release it because we don't understand it. I would say less than a day. Less than 1 day. 1 day. They would have it pulled apart, and you would understand what was been going on. They don't want this algorithm to go out. They don't want this algorithm to go out because it'll expose what they've been doing, and it'll be there for all the world to see. The algorithm is not one thing, says Nick Seaver, an assistant professor of Guys, I'm just. Guys, hold on. I'm curious. I just want to make sure we get this right. Yeah, there we go. I'll do it in this one just so it makes it easier. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. The study of human societies and cultures under development, also called culture anthropology. So they changed the definition of anthropology. Oh no! They changed the definition of anthropology so it would fit their freaking narrative. Oh no. This is amazing. Okay, back to this crap. Who reaches the look, I don't want to buy your stuff. Leave me alone. Who shows the algorithms that drive recommendation engines. The systems are so complex, he says, that tech companies themselves often find it difficult to know why their software showed a user one post over another. Guys, if you hire people who don't understand what they're working with, you've hired idiots. Stupicology, the study of growing stupid people. I mean, they're apparently doing it at Twitter. If you got people working for you that don't understand how the algorithm works, you've hired the wrong people. The people inside Twitter want to understand how their algorithm works too. They don't even know how it works. What? What? Come on, man. Twitter, Facebook, and Musk didn't respond to requests for comment. Well, Musk already commented. He did it at that trade show. He did it at TED. He did it at TED Talk. The opaqueness of algorithms that fuel what people see on social media has long been a fascination for conservatives in particular, who have alleged without evidence that the platforms are biased against them. Musk's attempts to gain sway over Twitter this week has resulted in rejoicing on the right, as some speculate he may try to reduce policing of misinformation and restore former President Donald Trump to the platform. There have been efforts to make the algorithms more transparent through regulation. Last year, several bills were introduced to or reintroduced in Congress that focus explicitly on the software programs that decide what people see on social media platforms. Efforts are also advancing to regulate artificial intelligence and algorithms globally. When social networks such as Facebook and Twitter were brand new, there wasn't enough content to warrant the need for a complex algorithm. Well, the thing is like nobody knows how to freaking use it, then what's the point of the algorithm? which is essentially a set of rules similar to a mathematical equation that help parse through content and determine what is most relevant to an individual user. I think if y'all don't know, but the thing is, if you don't know how it works, then what are you worried about? Y'all don't know how it works. But as hundreds of millions of users began joining and posting billions of pieces of content, the company began writing software that could learn what users were most likely to click on and then sort of feeds accordingly. Yeah. Does Twitter control over free speech and that needs to be fixed? Yes. Is a management shakeup good for Twitter and free speech? Yes. Does Elon Musk know what he's talking about? No. He is super naive when he describes open sourcing the algorithm and manual decisions auditing. Didn't this guy make him like rocket ships and stuff like that? Uh, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't understand it. It made me think. Uh, Even if Twitter made its secret formula public, including the math it uses to train its machine learning algorithms, an outsider looking at it wouldn't be able to make meaningful conclusions from it. I don't believe that. I think y'all are afraid for it to be out there. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's a fear. Y'all don't want people to know about it. Y'all don't want them to know about it. So, make sure I get the right one. Speaking of Gamergate. Let's see, where's it at? Okay. Okay. Oh boy, sure do love hearing that people who don't know how a computer algorithm works and what it's currently doing. That's what I love about it. It's like, guys, it's so complex, even we don't know how it works. Seriously, we don't know how it works either. So you definitely don't know how it works. So we'll just avoid that altogether. uh, Appreciate everybody who's tuning in right now. But yeah, speaking of Gamergate, guess who's trying to like build their cloud again? Now here's the funny thing. I'm going to show you a nice little double take because I don't think Woo Woo Hakusho realized what they did here when they said this part and then had to double back. Let's read this carefully. If any reporters reach out to me today, I will share the stories I've kept private about the fight to improve Twitter moderation policies at the Trust and Safety Count team over the last 10 years, because this is what we're going to lose if this deal goes through. Well, the deal's through now. And then, of course, I typically don't share stories about things that happen in back channel, but this is a rare exception. Bitch, you always tell stories about what quote happens in back channels, but you mostly make shit up, so it doesn't matter. None of your stories are ever true. Exactly. Oh no, we're going to lose the Trust and Safety Council. How awful. That's probably one of the worst things that happened to Twitter. Oh man, bears. That's terrible. That's terrible, but it's funny. Now, you're probably saying, why did I highlight this? And what did they do wrong? Oh, that's easy. That's a very simple goal. If I were on the Twitter trust and safety team, I would quit today, do the VC rounds, and raise 300 million to build a social media network that promises one thing: get rid of the assholes. Most reasonable people just want a conversation without the toxicity. So you're either, Brianna, Bubba, you are either on it or you're not. Your previous tweet implied you were on the Twitter Trust and Safety Council. Yep. By that logic, Brianna would be banned. I like how they double talk themselves so much. It's so funny. But yeah, that's the, that's the, we're going to take 300 million and we're going to, and then we're going to get, we just want a conversation without toxicity. No, you want conversation. What you want is conversation without pushback, because you're just afraid, maybe a little bit afraid that your ideas might get pushed back on. But it doesn't really matter to me because we know you're a grifter and a moron. So you're just trying to go where the money is. You know, that's the way you always have been, and the way you always will be. Hey, remember when you did that Patreon and you said, "Hey, I'm gonna use this to launch the thing to help stop toxic thing." The first thing you did was buy a motorcycle. Yeah, I remember that. In fact, that picture you still using 6 years later is you on that stupid motorcycle. What does that tell you? Oh, I hope so. I really, really hope so. I really, 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 really hope so. I hope she does try to start her own. Because it would just be nice to see another failure in her life. Oh, it would be so hilarious. It's like, hey, how can I fail even harder? I know. Watch this. All right. Micah, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. I like it, but it's terrible. Anyway, now, who feels like celebrating? You might feel like celebrating? I do. Here, let me, bloop, there we go. And also, bloop.
Oh, oh no!
I am. This is so hilarious. Plus, I like this picture. Savage Dragon creator Eric Larson keeps promise, deletes Twitter account after Elon Musk buys company. Oh, if only everybody else would have done it. Only if nobody else would have done it. I mean, I give credit. At least Talcum X left. Like I said, he was just upset that that Twitter is now owned by an actual African American. But what can you do? What's funny is Eric Larson is literally a man child. He's up there with Mark Waid as like one of the most despicable people on in comic books. And he actually, people will be upset that they don't see his toxic ass anymore. And yes, I use that, and I don't use it like ironically. Yeah. Oh no, not Eric. Anyway, Savage Dragon creator and Image Comics chief financial officer Eric Larson. I wonder why Image is losing money. Has kept promises. His promise to delete his Twitter account if the company was purchased by Elon Musk. Back on April 14th, Larson tweeted, "The day Elon Musk buys Twitter is the day I delete my account and leave Twitter." He added, "Nothing good can come from Elon Musk buying Twitter." Something good came from it. You left. Yeah, they're going to come back. What's funny is yesterday Twitter was trending when Elon Musk bought Twitter. It started trending with Mastodon. I was like, oh, y'all mean that site that y'all, the social media node that y'all created that was so it was so moderated that people like Will Wheaton got kicked off for being quote toxic. He continued writing, at some point the Amendment protecting free speech was maliciously altered to the freedom to lie. Um, Guys, did he get a constitution that I didn't get? I'm just wondering. I'm just curious because pretty sure. Whoa. Interesting. I want to show you guys something. I just put in because I was just doing a search and on Chrome I'm using for it's Bing for some reason. Um, and I wanted to look up. I was going to show the First Amendment. Now look at this. What's going on here? This answer is hidden, and it's all blurred out until we get down here to Cornell. Did I just did I just like stumble upon actual censorship right live in person? Why would you censor? Why is this censored? I want to see it. I find that funny. See, this is what we're talking about, guys. I mean, that's I'm flabbergasted. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. They pretty much censored themselves. Yeah. So they censored they censored the AP, the Dallas Morning News, CNBC, Newsday, the LA Times, and the Fairfax Times. I don't know what that's about. Um, but yeah, but like I said, might as well look at it. The first, no, I don't want. I want to see what it says. What the actual word. Congress shall make sure no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. By the way, this needs to happen more often. That means this whole thing of bridging. That means you don't, in any way, stifle free speech. Guess what a lie is, guys? Real quick, what's a lie in this context? I know this is like follow along with Octopops when he's 30 seconds behind and all that stuff, but yeah, a lie is still free speech, no matter how much you might not like it, no matter how much. The only thing does it say under oath will a lie get you in trouble because then it's perjury. But that's a different story because that's under oath and you're required to tell the truth. You may not like that people lie. You may not like that they do it, but it's still their protected speech. The freedom to lie with impunity is one of the biggest dangers to American democracy. Who wants to tell Eric Larson that we're not a democracy? I know the words representative republic really hurts their feelings, but that's what we are. Anyway, exactly. Boss, you summed it up perfectly. You know how to beat a lie speech? Speak truth speech. Simple. It's not hard. This platform will become an even more hellish landscape of lies and misinformation. Well, it's funny because most of the information these days is coming from guys like you. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. If you've been on the internet for any length of time, you've seen it happen before. Social networks go sour and everybody wanders off to greener pastures. We've seen them fall. Don't think for a second it can't happen again because it very much can. The minute these sites start having utility, when they become more trouble than they're worth, people find a place that better suits them. He added in a fourth tweet. Larson will go on to respond to a number of individuals questioning his logic. One user wrote, "I'll leave Twitter if it becomes quote, I will leave Twitter if it becomes a free speech platform." Larson responded, "At some point, the First Amendment protecting free speech was maliciously altered to freedom to lie." Okay, so he's answering this person. Another user simply asked why, and he had the same front. Okay, Eric was doing that whole, I'm going to just copy and paste what I want to say because I'm a moron. I can't think for myself. However, when one user asked, what would change? Your account, your following would remain intact. Larson offered a very different response. He wrote, he'd let back in the liars and the shitheads and add an edit button, which would only make things worse as people cover up their bile. Eric, I don't know if you know anything about tech, but if you edit something, you can set it so you can know what was originally put up there. You know, so if a moderation needs to happen, it can still happen. I know you're a moron. I know you're an idiot, and I know you don't understand how things work in the real world. But come on, dude. At least have some basis for understanding of what you're talking about, which you don't. Fair enough. All right, Schnitzel, you have a good one, buddy. See you later. Yep. And honestly, that's being more proven day by day. Larson would stick to his promise and delete his account following news reports that Musk had acquired a social media company. The CEO of Tesla and SpaceX shares his intentions in purchasing tweet. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what freedom of speech means. Well, you see, you got one guy who's welcoming criticism, and you got somebody else who's like, "I don't want criticism. I want to turn people into dinosaurs." You know. He added, "I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans." Now that I can see why people find this a little worrying. Like, what does that mean, right? Uh, it'll have to be a wait and see, right? It'll have to be a wait and see. I'm hoping he doesn't try to do the Blizzard Real ID thing because that was cringe. Um, I mean, if it's a verification, but you can still keep your anonymity, fair enough. But I don't know. That will have to be wait and see. Twitter has Twitter has tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and the community of users to unlock it. He concluded. In response to this news, Larson deleted his Twitter account, When attempting to access his Twitter user, right? Users receive a message that reads, "This account doesn't exist." Larson confirmed he deleted the account on Facebook, writing, "I just deleted my Twitter account. It's dead. I'm done." Yes. Woo. What do you think of make of Larson keeping his promise of deleting his Twitter account? Do you think he'll return to Twitter? Absolutely. He can't help himself. These people can't help themselves. They're going to be back. They'll be back. They'll be back. Yeah. Like Boss said earlier, how do you feed a lie? Truth. And how do you expose truth? Let people talk. You beat in a marketplace of ideas, you beat the best idea wins. No matter how much you may not like the person who's given the idea, the best idea will still win. I know it's a hard concept for some of these folks to understand. But yeah, like Micah says, if authentication is voluntary instead of required, it'll be fine. That's what I'm hoping. Boomer Books edit function allows you to see what was originally posted. Easy as pie to implement on Twitter. Exactly. Yeah, he got his 5 minutes of fame, but I did what I said was I was going to do. Look at me, I stand by my convictions, and then he'll be back next week. He can't help himself. He's addicted, and he knows he is. He knows he is. He's going to be back. I hope he doesn't come back because who cares about like Eric Larson? You're the chief financial officer of freaking Image, and Image has been eating shit just like everybody else in the comic book industry. So absolutely, no, it's no problem. But I got to do this. I got to learn how to do solo once in a while. So yeah, but I'll hit you up next time because this is a good discussion topic. But I'm still going to make fun. But this gives us something more to make fun of him about. So when he does his stream later, be sure to go there and bully him relentlessly and furiously because he deserves it. Uh, so anyway, guys, yeah. So that was the Muskmegeddon. I know it was. It's it's been hilarious. What's been going on the last few days, and hey, and the day ain't over yet, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So we will see you then next time. Yes, bully the chairman because he um yeah, keep bully him relentlessly, always bully. Whatever the day, if the day ends in Y, bully Xavier. Um, I will check you guys out tomorrow. We will be here same time, same channel, and all that good stuff. Guys, y'all have a wonderful, beautiful day. Stay true to each other. And always remember to bully Xavier as relentlessly and mercilessly as possible. And I will leave you with him losing his mind. Thank you guys for this and have a wonderful day.